Who dat to the Who Dat Nation. Welcome to the Dome Patrol podcast, your podcast for the New Orleans Saints here on the KB Radio Network. I'm your host, Kevin Reed, and week 6 is upon us as our New Orleans Saints, who currently sit at 2-3, will take on their division rivals in the Caesar Superdome this upcoming Sunday, 12 noon. The Tampa Bay Buccaneers, who are 3-2 so far this season. Speaking of Tampa Bay, let's start off the show by giving our thoughts and prayers to all the people in Florida who were affected not only by Hurricane Helene that hit it a couple of weeks ago. Then just a couple of days ago, Hurricane Milton came through and devastated areas in Florida to the point that the Tampa Bay Buccaneers had to evacuate and come to New Orleans, which they were coming anyway, but they came a few days earlier because of the incoming storm. We just want to keep all of the people in prayers, even the Tampa Bay Buccaneers, even though they're the enemy this week. we want to think about them in their recovery, because if anybody knows anything about hurricane recovery and going through storms and back-to-back storms, we had back-to-back storms a few years back, and it wasn't fun. So we know that this is a tough process to go through. The most important thing is life. Hopefully everybody came out safely. Material things can be replaced, but you can't. So let's keep the Tampa Bay area, the Florida state as a whole, in our thoughts and prayers. Now that we got the goody good out the way, now that the angel on my shoulder got that out the way, let's switch over to the devil on my other shoulder as we look to defeat the Tampa Bay Buccaneers this upcoming Sunday. It's going to be a task. It is going to be a task, even if we were healthy, even if everything was firing on all cylinders. This was going to be a tough matchup for our New Orleans Saints, who are coming off of a 3-game losing streak, losing to the Philadelphia Eagles, the Atlanta Falcons, and just this past Monday to the Kansas City Chiefs. And all three were devastating. All three were winnable. You can make a argument that, Kansas City went out there and stood on business. They did what they were supposed to do. Yeah, they did. And kudos to them. Congratulations to them. They went out there. They did what they had to do to beat the New Orleans Saints, even though they were hampered by injuries as well. But they found a way to win the game. The other two games, not so much. The other two games against Philly and Atlanta, Saints should have won those games. They were there for you, and it was there for you against the Chiefs. It was just stupid things that happen at the most unopportune times, and that has been a bugaboo for this organization for the past few years. And I really don't know, what to do to stop it. What can you do to stop this bleeding? That has been constantly spilling out of this wound that we have. I don't know. Well, hopefully with this change that's upon us, it's not really a change. This is more of next man up. But we got a new quarterback this week, and it's due to the fact that Derek Carr was injured in last Monday night's matchup against the Chiefs with an oblique injury. So he's going to be out multiple games, according to the Saints organization. So who do you put in that starting position? Do you put Jake Haener? Do you put Spencer Rattler? Well, the fan base is Spencer Rattler. The common sense thing would be Jake Haener. And the reason I would have said Jake Haener is because he has seniority. He's been here longer. Granted, 1 year, but he's been here longer. I like Jake Haynard, but I don't see Jake Haynard as the future of this franchise. And so you may ask yourself, well, why do you want to start him? Well, the reason is I don't want to damage our future. Our future being Spencer Rattler. But Spencer Rattler will be the starting quarterback of this Sunday's matchup against the Tampa Bay Buccaneers. And let me make it clear. I've been saying this with friends of mine all week since they made this announcement. It's not like I don't want Spencer Rattler here. I don't want him to play. Of course I do. I'm a fan of his. I watched him in college, and I was enamored by him. I was impressed by him, and I was shocked that the Saints were able to pick him in the 5th round. I'm like, how is this possible? How did we luck up on this? And we got him. He is truly a franchise quarterback, and we got him in the 5th round. Think about that, people. That is a steal of the century, of 1st round talent, and we got him in the 5th. But I don't want to rush him out there, and for a number of reasons. I don't even know if I'm gonna get through them all. If it's all it's because it's all jammed up in my head. But I'm gonna try to give as many as I can remember. It's just that many that I don't want him to start. Or I'm not. Well, let me take that back. Let me rephrase. Yes, I love to see him. I can't wait to see him play Sunday, of course. But I feel like we're rushing him. I feel like this is a rush to judgment, just to see what we got. No, this isn't the place for that. You're going up against a stout team. Tampa Bay is a stout team. Like I said to start off the show, this was going to be a tall task if we were 100% healthy. This was going to be a physical battle, which they always are with these two teams. And so I didn't want to throw them to the wolves. Let's keep in mind, we don't have an offensive line. There's no offensive line here. They're doing the best they can, but this is a makeshift offensive line that I don't trust, man. I just don't trust. Now, that's a con, but a pro to that is Rattler is mobile. And he's mobile in the sense he's not Lamar Jackson. He's not old school Michael Vick. He moves around the pocket to extend the play. That's what he's doing, a la Patrick Mahomes. We just saw this on Monday night. He is that type of quarterback. Now, in no means am I saying Spencer Rattler is the second coming of Patrick Mahomes. I'm saying they have similar styles. They even look alike, to be honest. They look alike in a lot of ways, but no, I'm saying like the style of play. He's not running just to run. Now he can run, but he's running with his eyes focused down the field. And so the offensive line is not going to hurt us in that sense. Hopefully not too much. And so that's one thing. Another thing is, do you remember think back, and don't think too hard. I don't want your nose to start bleeding, but think back during the pandemic. You remember when we had Ian Book? Ian Book, we drafted him out of, I think he went to Notre Dame. Drafted him. He was a short quarterback, around Drew Brees size, typical Sean Payton type of quarterback. And that was the year of COVID. Players were getting quarantined and stuff like that. It was the Monday night game, I believe, against the Miami Dolphins. And it seemed like 75% of the team caught COVID and could not play that Monday night game, including the quarterbacks. All the quarterbacks except Ian Book. And they threw that boy out there. God bless him. He tried his best. And it was just horrible. The whole game was just horrible, but you couldn't really critique him because he didn't have anything to work with. And I think he only had like 2 days to prepare for that game, maybe even less. It was a spur of the moment type thing because everybody caught COVID. And so he went out there, got destroyed. He did the best he could. and we haven't heard from Ian Book since. Now he ended up, I think, the following year, went to Philly, if I'm not mistaken. Now, is he still on the Phillies roster? I have no earthly idea. I haven't heard his name in years. So but it destroyed him. It basically destroyed his career. Now, I'm not blaming it all on that game, but it didn't help. This game, even though not as severe as that COVID game, but it's very similar. I mean, we have multiple injuries up and down the offensive line. We have multiple injuries as far as our weapons are concerned, which we're going to go through the laundry list of injured players for this Sunday's game. He doesn't have all his weapons. And the weapons he do have are banged up, so it's going to be a tall task. I hope that it works out. I really do. I hope that it works out. But I'm not 100% confident. I just don't feel 100% confident with it. Another thing that kind of gives me pause, and this may sound crazy if I don't sound crazy already, is what if, let's just say, play devil's advocate here. What if he goes out there, throws for 250 yards, close to 300. He's 18 for 22, 2 touchdowns, possibly 3, perfect passer rating. I mean, has the game of the year. What if Derek Carr wakes up Monday morning and say, I feel better? What you going to do? Are you going to sit Ratner? Or are you going to start Derek Carr? I mean, what? Well, that's the same thing. Or are you going to sit Derek Carr? Which one are you going to choose? Or are you going to hurry up and yank him out? And that's another way to kind of put the mental blocks on a young upstarting player. Because in my view, I really think that Clint Kubiak truly wants Spencer Rattler as the quarterback. If you listen to him talk, if you watch the press conference the other day when he was talking about Spencer Rattler, it's, my God, you would think he's the starting quarterback. I mean, he speaks so highly of Spencer Rattler. He's very excited, and I heard a rumor. I don't know if it's a rumor or a fact or whatever, but I didn't see the source. But the Spencer Rattler pick in the 5th round, that was a Clint Kubiak choice. That was his decision. That wasn't a Dennis Allen decision. That was a Clint Kubiak decision to draft Spencer Rattler. So if that's true, Spencer Rattler, that's his guy. And if that's his guy, and if that's the guy he wants to build an offense around, you get where I'm going. You get what I'm going. Maybe you ought to get the best pieces for this offense. No shade on Derek Carr. That's nothing against. That's no Derek Carr hate there. That I've had my issues with Derek Carr, but that's not the hate. It's just this system isn't for you. And if the perfect piece for this system, the perfect quarterback for this system, is sitting on the bench, that's coach's fault. That's y'all fault for not putting in the right pieces, giving this team the best chance to win, the best opportunities to win, to succeed. So that's my thing. That's the only question I have towards that. If that's true, that's the question I have. And I really think there's some fact to that, because the type of offense this is, this zone run offense, you need a mobile quarterback. You need a quarterback of Spencer Rattler's ilk. But we'll see Sunday. We'll see how it all plays out Sunday. But that's enough of Spencer Rattler. It's really a wait and see right now. We don't know what he's going to do. We don't know how this is going to play out. We just hoping for the best. And I'm praying for the best. And let's not forget, there's one other point I wanted to make. Let's not forget, the Saints they're coming off a short week and going into another short week because we just played Monday night. We're playing Sunday against Tampa, and then Thursday we got Denver. So this is a stretch here. This is probably the toughest stretch for the New Orleans Saints. 3 games in 10 days. Is it 10 days? Or something to that effect? Yeah, that's a brutal schedule, man. And I mean, think about the 3 teams you playing in this stretch here. You got the Chiefs, Tampa, and then Denver. I mean, come on, man. This is going to be brutal. We're lucky to survive this in some shape, form. We already dropped 1, and so this is gonna be a big game, big game. For another reason, let's not forget, what's being kind of shelved to the side here because of the big news with Spencer Rattler starting. Let's not forget the looming love affair that that always transpires between our cornerback Marshawn Lattimore and Tampa Bay Buccaneers receiver Mike Evans. I don't understand this hatred thing. I don't understand why every time these two get on the field together, there's a fight. Every time. And so you got to look forward to that. I'm hoping that they've gotten older now. Maybe we can let this crap go and just play the game. We got enough problems as it is. And so let's try to keep it together. I'm talking to you, Marshawn. I can care less what Mike Evans do. But Marshawn, keep your head on straight, man. Yeah, you've been doing great this season. I mean, you've locked down the complete side of the field because all quarterbacks are zeroing in on Paulson and Debo. And it's man, the less said about that, the better. But Sunday's contest will be the 65th regular season matchup between these two teams, which became the NFC South in 2002, with the Saints holding a 40-24 advantage in this series. The Saints have won 40 of the previous 64 matchups against the Tampa Bay Buccaneers. Now, as of late, it's been kind of even. It's been back and forth lately. Most of those wins were accumulated during a time when Tampa was the laughing stock, but they kind of turned the corner in 2000, mid 2000s or whatever. But it's been more back and forth than anything, and especially over the past 3 years, Tampa. It looked like Tampa has been running the division. They've won the division 3 straight years, so they've had the advantage in that sense. But more importantly, New Orleans needs to snap this 3-game losing streak against Tampa. Last year we was in the same scenario. Last year we had lost 3 games in a row, and we were facing Tampa, and we managed to snap that 3-game losing streak. I think we won that game 23-13 in Tampa. And so the more things change, the more they stay the same, it seems like. This is Groundhog's Day. We're stuck in this infinite loop for the past few seasons. We win our first 2 games. We've done that the last 3 seasons. Then we go on this losing streak. We did that the last 3 seasons. And then we snap it by beating the Tampa Bay Buccaneers. Let's see if that trend continues this Sunday. New Orleans will defend a Bucs offense ranked 19th in the NFL in net yardage per game, 20th in rushing, and 11th in passing, while the defense is ranked 30th, 16th against the run, and 28th against the pass. The New Orleans offense is tied for 17th in the NFL, 10th in rushing, 21st in passing. Just to put things in perspective, those numbers are a little misleading, and the reason is a little misleading is because Saints accumulated a lot of yardage in the first 2 games. They did a lot of those first 2 games. The last 3 games, not so much, but they did so much in those first 2 games. They're still high in the rankings. Now, the defense is ranked 23rd in the league, 7th against the run, and 26th against the pass. The Saints, I don't understand them. I just don't get them on defense. Saints defense, that bend don't break thing, it's getting old. I'm sorry, it has gotten old. It's in between the 20s. A team can run all through the Saints. They'll pass on them, run on them, and everything. Now, once you get in the red zone, the Saints defense, they knuckle down, they bow their backs, and that's that. They gonna shut you down. That's how they don't allow touchdowns in games. That's how, they force all these field goals, because they shut it down once you get to the red zone. The problem is getting into the red zone. It's no problem for the opposing team's offense, and that's what we need to rectify on this defense. Get these 3 and outs. I don't think there's a team that had 3 and out against the Saints defense this at least definitely in the last 3 games. I haven't seen it. It's been embarrassing of sorts. Yeah, they force field goals. Yeah, they don't allow touchdowns. That's great, but man, give your offense a short field. The offense is struggling. Now, granted, the offense ain't helping the defense out any either by going 3 and out, by turning the ball over, and so it's kind of I don't know. They both are doing themselves a disservice. But let's go through some more of the rankings, NFL rankings for both teams. As I said before, the New Orleans Saints are 2-3. Tampa Bay is 3-2. Scoring average, Saints average 28 points a game. That's 4th in the league, or at least they're tied for 4th in the league. Tampa Bay 25.4. That gives them a ranking of 9th in the league. Opponent scoring average, Saints 19.2. They're 8th in the league. Tampa 22.8. They're 17th in the league. Total offense, said it before, Saints are 17th in the league, and Tampa is 19th in the league. Rushing offense, Saints are 10th. Tampa is 20th. Passing offense, Saints are 21st. Tampa is 15th. Total defense, Saints 23rd. Tampa 30th. And that's deceiving. I don't think Tampa defense is that bad. Second worst, or is it third worst in the league? They're really not. They are a solid defense. They just caught some bad luck. I'll put it that way. Rushing defense, Saints are 7th in the league, and Tampa is 16th in the league. Passing defense, Saints are 26th in the league. Tampa slightly worse at 28th. Turnover margin, which is a shock to me. I thought this would be worse, but it's not. Saints are a +3, believe it or not. They are a +3 in turnovers. They're ranked 7th in the league. Tampa is right behind them with a +2. They're ranked 8th in the league. Possession average, Saints average having the ball 30 minutes and 8 seconds to Tampa's 30 minutes and 11 seconds. The Saints have scored 17 touchdowns this season to Tampa's 14. Penalties, Saints have 29 penalties for 290 yards so far this season, which is horrible. And Tampa, 24 penalties for 167 yards. Let's go over our injury report, or what can be called the MASH unit. Saints have ruled out 5 players for Sunday's games, and that's as of Friday. Things can change Saturday or even before the game on Sunday, but as it stands right now, Saints have ruled out 5 players for Sunday's matchup. Number 1 is tight end Taysom Hill. He is out. Cesar Ruiz, guard, he is out. Derek Carr, of course, he is out. Will Harris, safety, he got hurt in that Chiefs game, I believe. He is ruled out. Pete Warner, he missed the Chiefs game, and he's going to miss the Tampa Bay game as well. He has been ruled out. Questionable for Sunday's matchup, Peyton Turner. Defensive end, he is questionable. Lucas Patrick, our center slash guard, he is questionable. Kendre Miller, even though he was a full participant in practice all week, he is questionable for Sunday's game, as well as Alvin Kamara. He was limited all week. Rashid Shaheed, he was limited all week, but there's no designations on those players as of right now. Tampa Bay is no better. Tampa Bay is just as bad. Tampa Bay has ruled out 5 players as well. Their center, Graham Barton, he has been ruled out. Defensive back, Christian Izen, he has been ruled out. Wide receiver, Trey Palmer, he's out with a concussion. Cameron Johnson, their other receiver, he has been ruled out, as well as defensive lineman Ernest Brown the fourth. He has been ruled out. Questionable for the Tampa Bay Buccaneers. Jalen McMillan, wide receiver, he is questionable. Running back Rashid Wright, he is doubtful for Sunday's matchup. Safety Jordan Whitehead, questionable. Safety Antoine Winfield Jr., questionable. Also, tackle Lucas Goddard, concussion, he is questionable. And Levante David, he didn't practice, but I think that's because of rest, as well as Mike Evans, also limited. But trust me, he's going to play. Marshawn Lattimore is playing. He's going to play as well. Leaders on the team, as far as statistic-wise, starting with the passing yardage, leading passer for the Tampa Bay Buccaneers is, of course, Baker Mayfield. He is 110 for 153 passes, 1,164 yards passing, 11 touchdowns, and 2 interceptions. Baker Mayfield is a beast. Baker Mayfield looks amazing for the past couple of seasons, and he's keeping it going as of right now. Derek Carr is the leading passer for the Saints, with 90 completions off of 128 attempts, 989 yards, 8 touchdowns, and 4 interceptions. Leading rusher for the Tampa Bay Buccaneers is Bucky Irving, 44 carries, 247 yards, and 1 touchdown. For the New Orleans Saints, it is, of course, AK-41 Alvin Kamara, 91 carries, 388 yards, and 5 touchdowns. Leading receiver for both teams, starting with Tampa, their leading receiver is Chris Godwin, 32 receptions, 386 yards, and 3 touchdowns. For the New Orleans Saints, it is Rashid Shaheed, 19 catches, 338 yards, and 3 touchdowns. Kind of touching in on Alvin Kamara. I know we hadn't talked about him tonight, but Alvin Kamara deserves all the flowers. He deserves all the love for going out there and giving it his all. I don't care what's going on in the past 3 years. Well, yeah, that too. But in the last 3 games, you can point fingers all over the field. But Alvin Kamara, he is the one guy who goes out there and gives it his all. Hurt, broken rib, whatever, he gives it his all. Even when he's dumb play calling that he's trying to make chicken salad out of chicken, you know what, he is trying his best. I say all that to say this: we need to find a way to help that man out. Stop putting all that workload on him, especially now when he's hurt. He's clearly hurt. Why isn't Jamal Williams being used more? I have no idea. Last week, Jamal Williams got the ball a grand total of 2 times. 2. Where did that make sense? That made no sense to me. We got to switch it up. I know they're waiting on Kendre Miller. Hopefully he'll play Sunday. I don't know, but it's something needs to happen. Something needs to change. We can't just keep handing the ball off to Alvin Kamara. You know, Alvin Kamara can be used in other arenas. We don't have Taysom Hill, who is a Tampa Bay killer. We don't have him. Maybe we can utilize Alvin Kamara in that role a little more. Have him flare out a little more, catch out the backfield a little more. Plus, you're going to help out your rookie quarterback. You need to run the ball. And that leads me into the keys to victory for this Sunday's game. Number one, run the ball. We have to run. We have to reestablish this run game, people. For the past 3 weeks, we haven't been running the ball. And you wonder why we're losing. We become one-dimensional. You know why we had that phenomenal run the first 2 games of the season? We were running the ball. And that opened up the play action. That's how Chris Olave was getting over the top. Not Chris Olave, but Shadeed was getting over the top of a defense. It's not chess here. It's checkers. It's easy. I know I'm on the couch here. I know I'm not on the sideline with a clipboard. They don't pay me to do this. If I knew how to do it perfectly, I would be on the sidelines. And I know they're paying those guys to make those decisions. But my God, if I'm sitting on the couch and I can see where the problem is, why can't you? Saints need to run the ball. One, to establish all the things that I just mentioned. But more importantly, like I mentioned a few minutes ago, you want to help out your rookie quarterback. You can't have Spencer Rattler sit back there and throw it 60 times on Sunday. That's not going to help anybody. That's not going to benefit anybody other than the Tampa Bay Buccaneers. Our second key to victory, swing on over to defense. Defense, let me tell y'all, it all starts with the pass rush. You can get mad at Paulson Adebo. You can get mad at the secondary and the linebackers, whatever. That pass rush is the reason why everything is going the way it's going in that secondary. If you don't put any pressure on the quarterback, I don't care who you have in the secondary. I don't care if Darrelle Revis is back there. Eventually, a receiver is going to get open. If a quarterback has 5 to 6 seconds, which I've counted one time, a quarterback just sitting back there knitting a sweater, yeah, eventually they're going to break open, and he's going to find them. And so this pass rush got to get better. And what makes it more frustrating is the fact that I see them get into the backfield. I've seen Chase Young get into the backfield. I've seen Carl Granderson get in the backfield and don't make the play. Don't make the tackle. Sack. I mean, come on, man. We got to get home. Get home. I've seen Brian Bursey get home. And I've seen Alante Taylor get home off a blitz. They've stopped that in the last couple 2 or 3 games. I mean, come on, we got to do something. We got to generate pressure somewhere to get these quarterbacks off their spot. Baker Mayfield is going to be a little difficult because just like I was describing Spencer Rattler, Baker Mayfield has that same skill set. He will move around the pocket. He will turn on the jets as well. So it's scary. It's kind of iffy if you really want to blitz him. But you got to get home. I mean, it is what it is. At this point, I'd rather get burnt by the blitz. I'll accept it because you're getting burnt by everything else when you're not blitzing anyway. So who cares? What's the difference? What's the difference at this point? At least you tried. At least I can go on and say, well, they tried. You know, they tried to get there. But more often than not, you get there with the blitz. And I'm not saying blitz. And I'm not telling you to be old boy in Kansas City. Who that's all he do. That's all he do. I'm shocked he didn't do it that often Monday night, but whatever. No, but I am saying you got to get blitz. You got to help out your secondary. Our linebacking core is banged up as well. Let's not forget, Pete Warner is out. I don't know how healthy Willie Gay Jr. is. I know he missed last week with that hand injury. And, DeMario Davis, he's getting a little long in the tooth there. And speaking of long in the tooth, and speaking of pass rush, Cam Jordan. I love Cam Jordan. Cam Jordan is one of the all-time great Saints. The dude is phenomenal. At least his career is almost second to none as far as defensive ends for this team. The only thing missing from his repertoire is a Super Bowl trophy. But right now, it's just not happening for Mr. Jordan. I've been so disappointed. Not in the sense like he fell off, but in the sense that everybody can see it, and that includes the coaching staff for the Saints. Y'all see that this guy, he just don't have it, and it's frustrating because nobody else is stepping up to take his job. Nobody. I mean, you drafted Peyton Turner, he stayed hurt. You drafted Isaac Forsky, he can't get on the field. I actually forget he's on the team at times. My cousin brought him up the other day, and I'm like, man, this dude can't even get on the field. And he was like, yeah, I saw him. He was out there for a couple. Like, he was? And that's even worse. That's even worse. I didn't even notice he was there. Yeah, it is bad. This is bad, man. It's something needs to be done about this defensive line. Chase Young so far has been a really, really big disappointment. I wasn't expecting Chase Young to come in here and be the second coming of Reggie White or anything like that. I was expecting him to get more pressure than he has done in these first 5 games. It's been like, man, why? What? Do you not realize this is your final stop? You know, this is it. This is your prove it deal, and right now you're not proving nothing. And so yeah, it's been a real disappointment on that D line. But I hope they can turn it up. I really do, and turn it up soon. There's no room for error this week. We're in week 6, and this is a must-win game. There's no point sugarcoating it, people. This is a must-win game for the New Orleans Saints. If the Saints drop this game, that's 2 division losses. They're already 2. That'll put them 2 games behind the division leader. You've lost to the 2 teams that's ahead of you. And you have Denver coming up on a short week. You already have another NFC loss when you lost to the Eagles. This is bad. they put themselves in a horrible situation, right? This is a must win. There's no ifs, ands, or buts about it. Don't listen to nobody who say, okay, it's all right if we drop this one. We still can bounce back. We play Tampa again and all that. Look, miss me with all that. Yeah, we play Tampa again. We play Atlanta again. We play Carolina again. All that's fine and good. But look at what you got to scrap and scrape and pray for help from other teams to beat these teams that beat you in order to get where you need to go, as opposed to being in control of your own destiny. And if you can get this victory on Sunday against Tampa, that'll put you back in the driver's seat. Not so much ahead of the pack, but you can control your destiny. Now, when we get to next week, when we play an AFC team in the Denver Broncos, yeah, that one you got a little leeway with, but you still can't lose that one either for obvious reasons. But but this week here, yeah, this is a must. This is a must, and that's why my prediction will be the New Orleans Saints coming out victorious this week, because we're a desperate team. And in my preseason prediction show, I had the Saints winning this game anyway. To be honest with you, when I'm looking at this schedule that I have marked from the preseason, the Saints are at the schedule. They are at the record, I should say, that I had them on to start off the season. I had them beating Carolina. I had us actually losing to the Dallas Cowboys, believe it or not, and winning against the Philadelphia Eagles. So that's the only 2 that I got wrong. They just flip-flopped. But I did have us losing to Atlanta, and I did have us losing to the Chiefs, and I do have us winning against the Tampa Bay Buccaneers. So let's hope and pray that I got this right in the preseason. But we will find out this Sunday in the Caesars Superdome, 12 noon, when the New Orleans Saints host the Tampa Bay Buccaneers. I would like to know, what are your thoughts of this Sunday's game against Tampa? Do you think the Saints will come out victorious, putting an end to this 3-game losing streak? What do you think about Spencer Rattler getting his first career start this Sunday? How good do you think he's going to play, or how bad do you think he's going to play? I think he's going to play good regardless, no matter how my feelings are. And my feelings are more selfish. It's not really based on his production as far as his ability to play. It's more of a mental thing for me. That's what I'm a little concerned with. But I hope and pray that I'm wrong. I really do. I want him to succeed because I want him to be our quarterback for the future. But that's just me. I would love to know your thoughts. Email the show, kbradiopodcast@gmail.com. You can also search for the show on all social media platforms. Just search for the KB Radio Network channel and follow this show on all those platforms as well. Speaking of following, you can also subscribe to the KB Radio Network channel on YouTube and like this video if you don't mind, as well as the 5 stars, the reviews, and sharing this show. If you're listening on Apple Podcasts, Spotify, iHeartRadio, wherever you are currently listening to the Dome Patrol podcast, your podcast for the New Orleans Saints here on the KB Radio Network. Everybody, thank you for joining me for this preview of the Saints versus the Buccaneers matchup, Week 6. Can't wait to speak to you after the game when we discuss a Saints victory over the Tampa Bay Bucks. Can't wait to speak to you then. And until then, I'm going to be screaming from the top of my lungs, who dat?